Payday.
Payday is here and the check is in the mail. Payday, get to it. 7-1 entertainment.
But don't turn the beat down yet because is this a new payday?
It's a new payday.
Come on, man.
I got 2 this week. It's a 2-beat week.
Here's the thing about payday. You might sleep on him for a week, but that's your problem.
That's on you.
You can't sleep on that guy because not everything's 100. Everything's an 80.
Yeah, that's fair. It can't be all 10 stars.
But you've gone from your 1 every 7 banger material,
Right.
that you're hitting them like every other week almost at this point.
I'm trying to see. I got 2 this week. I'm trying to see maybe I did 2 for 2 this week. Really up the averages.
Our boy Deuces Coco wants more music, so asking you shall receive. We start off listening to jams. We don't got to turn it down yet. This is TWD The Manual, the podcast formerly known as The Gig.
Now we're just a symbol.
My name's Sean Cove. I'm sitting across from Crises the Mathematician. He had a hit mixtape back in '97. He was huge on the underground. He was in talks with Raucous Records and the Lyricist Lounge. He was supposed to show up on that. Things didn't really map out the way they were supposed to. But
Rough House stepped in, but then they folded.
You ask anybody at Fat Beats, they'll tell you about Crises the Mathematician and his repertoire. We are here for another week of The Manual. Come on in. Hang your New Era hat by the hook. Take off your Tim boots. And don't take yourself or us too seriously. We got a riveting show this evening.
Action-packed.
I am full of things to talk about. All things pertaining to you, the viewer, who is a thorough dude.
Right.
Be it a W or otherwise, we welcome you all. I did get a call. Let me tell you a little something about work. All right, let's sound bet it. I made a boo-boo.
Okay.
Which seems like the construction gods are not on my side these past few weeks. They want to force me into another career.
Okay.
You know, and I'm digging my heels in trying to stay in construction because I love it so much, but they're doing their best to push me away.
They're trying to send you messages from the sky?
They're trying to send me away. So I'm working on what am I working on? I'm working on a bathroom.
Okay.
Right? Also, real quick, Deuces, Aid, what's up, guys? Glad to see you here. We need a Deuces intro.
We do. We got to figure out I know what we're going to get. I'll get it for him. Deuces has an intro next week.
All right. And since Aid is from the city of brotherly love, brotherly thug, we start him off with this.
I used to wild off some bombing fluid.
And Just, what's good, Just? Just gets the sound of a tape measure clacking. Welcome. Here. Oh, I forgot about this one. Hold on.
We got a lot on the soundboard. I mean,
I know.
There's like 10 rows of stuff. We just don't use it at all.
I got to find the one.
Should be 4 buttons and that's
this
it.
one.
He's a good man, actually.
There it is. I forgot about that. I haven't touched it in a while.
We need to see if he wants to be on the Thorough White Dude podcast.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for him. I don't know where he's at.
Oh, he disappeared?
Yeah, I haven't heard from him. So I'm putting a new tub surround, new bathtub, new tile around the walls. Get it all locked in. It's beautiful, right?
Right.
I had a couple of touch-ups. Guy wanted the shower head switched out, wanted me to address some other little grout spots. So I did that. I stepped back. I'm like, all right, cool. I go to tighten the shower head on. This is at 4:30 at the end of the day.
Up for the night.
Yeah, I'm wrapping it up. All the tools are away except the wrench that I need and my pouch.
Right, because it's not much to installing the shower head once everything else is in place.
Right. So I put the shower head on. I spin it like this because that's how you put a shower head on.
Fast as you can.
Yeah.
It welds it on.
Yep. Heat welds. The
Right.
friction welds the threads together. It never goes anywhere.
I think they call it brazing.
Yeah. I put my wrench in my pouch, and I go to step out of the tub. My wrench falls and hits the side of the tub.
No.
Granted, I always protect the tub.
Okay.
The protection was not enough on this day.
Oh, no.
It knocked a quarter-sized chip out of the front edge of the tub. And I just looked, all struck with nothing to say. Just my heart jumped out of my mouth, hopped into my sphincter, and then came back in place. And I was stuck standing there, dumbfounded.
Was it porcelain or fiberglass? What was it?
It's an iron cast tub. So
Okay.
that it's porcelain finish
Coated, right.
on iron tub. So
It's not an easy fix.
I have a porcelain chip kit.
Right.
I go grab that after I got myself back together.
Right.
I go grab my chip kit and try and start filling it in. It's two completely different colors of white. Well, this isn't going to fly. So then I'm like, the only thing that I could do is reglaze this entire tub.
Or like a bunch of chips everywhere and then make it look like it's spotted. Like that's the design.
It's leopard white.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't
Snow
that what you
leopard.
asked for?
It's the hottest shit. All the home and garden magazines are doing snow leopard
Put on
tubs.
HGTV. It's all over the place.
So I do that, and then I'm like, the only thing I could do is glaze this. I don't want to reglaze this whole tub. That's a whole headache of itself.
Right.
I call the guy. I'm like, hey, I got to tell you this before you see it and come home. Like,
And think I'm trying to get over on you or
yeah,
whatever.
this is what happened. I didn't tell him about glazing.
Right.
I'm like, because I'm hoping they're not the cleanest, most organized, take care of their stuff people in the world. I thought maybe there was a small chance that he was going to go, it doesn't look great, but what are you going to do?
Nobody's going to get cut on it. We can just leave it as is.
He was not happy
He was
about
not
it.
that guy.
Which he had every right to not be happy
He's not
about
wrong
it.
to be upset. No.
And I told him that. I said, all right, give me a day or two. I'm going to talk to some guys. Let me find a solution that's better than this one because this is not going to fly. So then I take a day or two to drown my sorrows in rum chata. I'm lying. I drown my sorrows in, and the what is electrolyte water.
Oh, Pedialyte?
Yeah, I drowned my sorrows in Pedialyte for days. It was ridiculous, dude. I was just laying on the ground peeing on myself.
Yeah.
I was so hydrated.
Just clear water coming out of
They
you.
had even at one point thought they should take me to the hospital to get me dehydrated
Unhydrate you.
via IV.
Put a reverse saline bag on you.
Yep. And so I call him. I say, look, I'll glaze the tub. That's the only solution that's going to get us back.
Right.
Buy the glaze kit for $150.
Okay.
Justin's calling it $350 to reglaze it. I don't know I don't know.
Maybe he's sending somebody else in to do it.
He's always sending somebody
There you
else.
go.
Justin, he tries to do nothing, this guy.
So he's covering labor.
This guy don't do nothing but point a finger. His strongest tool in his toolbox is his index
Grip.
finger. Friggin' guy. Goddamn office guys trying to tell me what to do. I don't know.
He's not out there in the streets getting dirty.
Nah, Just is in the streets getting dirty. But he's also in the office. He's a man who walks the fine
on the
line in
tightrope.
both worlds.
That's a tough pull.
So I tell him I'm going to glaze it. Today, I go back to glaze it. This is all on my own dollar, so I'm annoyed a little bit, but whatever. Yeah. By the time I got to today, I've come to terms with this scenario.
Right. It is what it is. You got to take care of it and just move on, and that's that.
Got my name stamped on it. I got to handle it. So I do it. I spend the whole day glazing this tub because you have to babysit the glaze. You mix up this really thick epoxy that kind of goes everywhere it needs to be by itself, but just needs some guidance. So once it covers everything, then you have to babysit it to make sure you scoop it as it's coming out down to the drain.
Okay.
Clean up where it's dripping at the floor.
Right.
You just got to sit. There's no way to do it but sit and babysit
Let
it.
it self-level and make sure it doesn't go where it's not supposed to be.
So I do that. The tub looks better than it did.
Right.
Not as good as it was.
Right.
We're at about this. It was a Trenton 9.
Okay.
But it was a Sean Cove
6.
7.
Okay. Was it a new tub when you started? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. I went from new tub to reglazed tub.
It's double glazed. That's
Yeah, it's a new thing.
extra protection.
Other than snow leopard, everybody's doing double glaze now. Double glazed snow leopard?
Yeah.
I haven't seen too many of those.
It's expensive because it changes color in the lights.
If you got bread, you can get your tub double snow leopard glazed.
It's chromatic, and they put apple flake in the lower glaze just so it has that sparkle.
Yep, it's like a candy finish. I get it. I do it. It's a 717, a Trenton 9.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, all right, he'll be happy with this.
Right.
I'm not that good of a glazer, so I don't know that I'm going to get it to a 10.
Okay.
To be fully honest with you.
Right.
I come home and he's calling. I'm like, son of a bitch.
He's gonna be mad.
Yeah, he don't like something about it.
Right.
Hey, Sean, I got a problem up here.
Crap.
I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, oh, all right, what's up? He's like, so my son put his hands all in the tub and I assume ruined it, and I don't know how to get it off of him. I'm like, part of me wanted to be like, yeah, he's done now. You can't get it off, man. The kid's just going to walk around looking like half Michael Jackson now with porcelain skin, cuz there's nothing you could do. So I'm like, oh, man. You know, tell him how to get it off. I said, look, if you got a spackle knife, you might be able to salvage it somewhat.
Right.
Like where he touched, kind of
smooth
it out a little bit. But, yeah, it's not going to be perfect now.
Right.
And then he was like, okay, all right. I said, all right, man, later. Because at this point...
Now nothing can be your fault.
Right.
Now that's probably from where your son touched it. That wasn't me.
But, well, there's nothing we could... Now it's ruined. Right. So I went bending over backwards to solve a problem that is really worse off now than when I started this whole thing.
Right.
The construction gods are not on my side this week, as you can see.
I make the case that they are. They had that kid come in and screw it up so that anything that guy's looking for now is on his kid and not on you if he's trying to put it under a magnifying glass. I don't know. I want to be mad at Sean, but my son came in and tore it all up, so I don't know what it was supposed to be like.
I don't know who's who and what's what.
Right.
I don't know, man. Whatever. I did realize, though, this week that construction workers get, we get a rough rap with some of the world.
Yeah, sure. Most of the world, probably.
But really, construction workers are right up here with scientists. Construction workers are scientists.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And so, mathematicians more than scientists, but that's a science.
No. Scientists more than mathematicians. Anybody could be a mathematician. Anybody can be taught to learn the numbers. This is why mathematics is such a beautiful way to live your life, because anybody can be... We can give anybody mathematic equations.
To a point. You can't give anybody calculus and expect them to understand it.
Yeah, but if you teach them the formulas and they have a brain for remembering formulas, also, I've never stepped a day in a calculus class, so I don't know whether that's true or not, but I'm running with my thought. The gong solidifies it. Make use of our mistakes,
that's truth now.
So, mathematicians, to an extent, because we're measuring things and using numbers, right. But scientists, because if you're a skilled construction worker in any given field, pick the field, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
If you're a top-tier skilled construction worker in any field, you throw that guy in any other field, whether it's construction-related or otherwise. You throw a construction worker as a culinary artist, he's gonna figure it out, right? Because construction is really just, along with, this is why it runs so perfectly with TWD's The Manual, is because number one rule, we'll figure it out. Construction is just being able to figure it out. Nobody I know has shook my hand and say, oh yeah, I'm classically trained in construction.
Right.
No, you've been around long enough that you learned how to figure things out. You learned some stuff, and the stuff that you learned is now enough so that you can figure out the other things.
So that's I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
So there's this one particular pastry chef. His name is like Amari Guinchan or something like that. And I'm not going to waste the show's time digging up videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But like he does things like build an entire car out of chocolate.
I think I know the guy.
And I'm not just talking about like take a block of chocolate and carve it into a car. He's building axles.
He's making pieces.
Like he's literally a construction worker and chocolate is his medium.
I saw him do a dragon that was unreal.
Probably.
Unreal.
I've seen him do so many things with like. He did a vault. He did a vault with a working
Nice.
A working
like made the
combination
gears
line.
and everything. Yeah. Yeah, that dude's sick.
Yeah.
Construction worker.
Yeah, absolutely.
He probably
That's the first thing I thought of when you started bridging them.
Actually, I did a little research on him. He's Italian, right?
I think he's either Italian or French.
Yeah, he's Italian.
He feels Italian.
Yeah, and he actually started out laying ceramic tile.
Marble.
Yeah, back in a small village near Sorrento, Italy.
Outside of Napoli.
Uh-huh.
I got you.
Is Sorrento outside of Napoli?
I have no idea.
Yep. It is. Today it is.
For now. Depends on how far out you are on the map.
I figured out that I'm a scientist. Yeah. I've always known that I was a scientist, but it
clicked for you.
It clicked for me. I've been a life scientist for as long as I've been doing time.
Right.
Which we're going to talk about the science of doing time later on today. I should have made this TWD science class because it's all science today, baby.
I would have brought you your glasses and a chalkboard. I didn't know.
I should have wore a sport jacket.
We could get you like one of those whiteboards that they have these days, and you could work right on and show everybody what's going on.
Sport coat. Apparently so when you're locked up, sidebar, when you're locked up, Jody is the guy who's banging your girlfriend.
Fucking Jody. If
If you're a Mexican brother from the West Coast, Sancho is the guy who's banging your girlfriend.
Okay.
And if you're an old brother from way back, like uptown Harlem in the 70s, then Sport Coat is the guy who's banging your girlfriend. So I'll wear a sport coat next week and hide your girl. Don't bring your girl to the show. That's all I'm saying.
Before you get into your next topic,
yeah.
Before we leave construction, because I know you want to get off talking about that.
Well, I'm working. I'm a master of transitions.
Weaving it all together, yeah. I just want to throw this out there because you were talking about working in a bathroom and everything.
Yeah.
So there's I don't know if it's Hulu or Netflix, but one of them has a documentary about Pornhub and the rise of Pornhub and everything that goes on behind the scenes.
I heard. They're trying to slander our friend.
Well, not really, but our friend is interviewed quite a bit on there.
Right.
Because she is a ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
And they're clearly interviewing her in her home.
Right.
And the home is blurred out in the background.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that I'm on Netflix.
The whole time is I'm looking, I'm like, I wonder if Sean put that book
I'm on
together.
Netflix, cuz. So if you're looking to see my work, go ahead and watch the Pornhub documentary on Netflix. You'll see it blurred out in the background. So when it all clicked that I'm a scientist is very recently.
Okay.
I got this new hobby of dirt bikes.
Right.
I've taken on a whole new persona as a guy who rides a dirt bike.
Is it really new, or is it just an extension of your BMX persona?
It's a persona that was always in me.
Okay.
I just didn't have the credit to get a dirt bike and be that guy. I've finally gotten the credit to bring that persona to life.
I can finally afford that persona.
Yeah. So as I'm... Oh, man, I hate the word...
Uh-oh.
I hate the word tinkering.
Okay.
Because guys who... You're out there tinkering. It sounds like your wife is belittling you to her girlfriend or her sister or something.
He's always in the garage.
He's always out there tinkering.
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. He didn't build the bike.
Yeah.
He's tinkering.
He's out there tinkering. Yeah, right? It's belittling.
It does.
But I'm out there tinkering.
Right.
I also am tinkling because I don't want to come back in the house and have to be asked to do any chores. So I tinkle next to the shed while I tinker inside of it. Hit the like button. I'm tinkering with it, and I'm knocking things out of the park. I'm doing shit that, to me, I thought I was going to get a dirt bike, and any work that had to be done was, like, going to be done begrudgingly.
Okay.
Or possibly by somebody else.
Outsourced.
Yeah. Now, I didn't want to spend money to outsource it, so my thought is, like, whatever has to absolutely be done will go to whoever it has to go to.
Right.
And then I just took a shot at whatever the first thing that I did was, and I'm like, oh, I like being a mechanic, as it turns out.
I'm okay with this. It's such a different proposition when the entire motor is out and accessible versus like working on a car where you got to snake your arm in to change something.
And it's so much simpler.
Yeah.
Right? There's one system going on.
Right.
With the car, you have so much more things going on, and I'm lost under the hood of a car.
Yeah.
But with a dirt bike, it's a little bit, being that I am a scientist,
right,
it's a little bit more
straightforward. It's a little more
it's straightforward, but intuitive.
Okay.
You know, like to understand. And as I'm intuitively understanding these things, I'm gassing myself up more and more.
I should become a bike mechanic.
That's what I thought. And then my wife's like, yeah, but you will hate that after a little while, too.
Right.
I said, yeah, I would, but I got 20 years before I hate it. By that time, I'm somewhere in the islands. You know what I mean?
My knees will be 15 years healthier at that point, though.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying is whatever it is, you're working with your hands. If you work one field of construction, I would assume mechanics are very similarly the same way.
Sure.
That you start being able to figure, I don't know, maybe. In construction, you have so many things that you have to understand, and you can apply them to so many more things.
Right. Well, the first thing you probably pick up either way is like your spatial awareness goes through the roof.
Right.
Like understanding what can fit where and how you can get things to work together that wouldn't normally, and things like that. Like construction worker or mechanic both have to be well aware of the limits of what they're doing.
The time-space continuum.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course. Scientific shit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Before they can really execute well, no matter which field they're in.
Right.
So I'm sure that the mechanics might not be able to, like, they don't generally craft things. They usually put things together, as opposed to a construction worker who's
builds
actually
it kind
crafting
of out of
something.
scratch, which is why we're more scientific.
Right. So maybe they don't have that aspect of it, but the sort of, look around and figure out what's going on and understand what's going on because you're familiar with it in another place.
Right.
I think that's there for all of them, yeah.
I'd like to retract my original statement and actually go ahead and say that as a remodeling contractor, I am a scientist.
Right.
Anybody who falls short of that, it's a
That's on
case-by-case basis at
I
that
gotcha.
point. But shout out to all my remodeling scientists.
Word.
So Sunday, fun day.
Of course.
Right? Big thing in the bike world. I'm working on some videos. I put one up on this channel. I just put up the video that GoPro made for me.
Mm-hmm.
Got the GoPro hooked up. I'm out there. Let's make some quality YouTube motorcycle material.
Let's do it.
So I meet up with the old spark plug.
Right.
And we go for a ride. And he's like, where you want to go? I said, I got it, dude. I have my first video for my motorcycle video for YouTube. KLX Supermoto Urban Adventure in America's Poorest City.
Okay.
It's
a lot of words, but it says a lot of things.
It's a click-catching headline.
Clickbait, yep.
So I'm like, we got to go to CMD. We got to go to Camden, and we're going to ride around Camden and see what we can get into. And the boys were out in full effect on both sides. The boys on both sides of the law were out in Camden yesterday.
Okay.
So everybody,
it's a nice day out.
Every poppy bull in Camden who had an engine-powered machine was out there with it.
Trolling the streets.
9D. He fixed it. It's not Nittany no more. Now it's 90. Was it?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, I think so.
It was Nittany.
I think so, yeah.
What's up, Nit? I'm going to still run with Nit, though. Where's the button?
He's a good man, actually.
There you go. He gets a button.
Unless,
everybody gets a button today.
Unless he's from the beach, and then...
I'm just another nigga from the beach. You can tell by my speech or that salt smell on me. God
dang. So, we get to Camden. Everybody's out.
Right.
Everybody who's got a dusty, rusty... CRF 80 is out there on it. Every 14-year-old kid with a CRF 80.
Right.
The OGs with the choppers are out. I ran across a guy. You're familiar with the side-by-sides?
Yes.
This dude had a two-seater RZR side-by-side.
Okay.
The engine on the back of this thing is the size of a small refrigerator. Like that one that they can't see over in the corner.
Yeah, that one that you're pointing to, obviously.
Baxter. Another beach clip.
I'm just another nigga from the beach. You can tell by my speech or that salt smell on me. God
damn. So here's the beautiful thing, right?
Right.
I've went up against the city of Camden time and time again.
Sure.
And I've come out a loser each time.
More often than not. Yep.
Sometimes I wind up a loser sitting in a cell.
Right.
Sometimes I wind up a loser sitting in my mom's basement.
Okay.
Sometimes I wind up a loser sitting in the middle of nowhere with nowhere to go.
Okay.
The city of Camden has defeated me time and time again.
It's not been kind.
Never is. So I thought, I've got a weapon this time
Okay.
in the war against Camden. And that is the A7 Warthog,
Right.
the KLX 300. So I take it up. We're shredding. The beautiful thing about Camden, like I said, the boys on both sides of the law are out in full effect. There was lights everywhere, and anywhere there wasn't lights, they were just cruising left to right, north to south, east to west. They were just patrolling blocks because it's a nice day out. And I haven't seen this many people out on Broadway in Camden ever.
Okay.
Right? Broadway is the most desolate stretch of city road that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
If you are unfamiliar, Camden is a literal nuclear war zone.
It's a fallout.
Fallout.
Yeah.
It's a crack fallout. And it's not nuclear. It's the fallout from watching drugs annihilate an entire city.
It's a lot of things, and that the drugs certainly did not do it any favors. Yeah.
Or the crooked cops
Or the crooked cops.
before they switched over to a different brand of crooked cops.
Right. The bigger crooked cops.
Which
They kicked it up. They cut out the middleman and went straight to the top crooked cops.
they had the city of Camden PD,
Right.
who were so wildly crooked they removed them.
Yeah.
Well, the city police were patrolling Camden. They also had the state police patrolling Camden because they couldn't trust the city cops to patrol and do
Right.
anything.
Because stadies are known to be trustworthy.
The state boys were rough out there. The state boys were just looking to kick ass.
Yeah, they didn't want to be there. They just wanted
They didn't
to,
even want to take names.
No,
they just wanted to
shut
kick
it down.
ass and
Yeah.
leave you on a curb somewhere. At least the city boys locked you up and gave you a ticket and then let you go home.
They lived near town, so they felt at least a little bit of responsibility.
They removed both of those units and put in the Camden County Metro Department,
Right.
which to my understanding is wildly crooked right now.
Of course.
It took them 5 or 6 years to get to full crookedity, but they're there. So they're all cruising back and forth. We're cruising back and forth. Every time we run into somebody, in my mind, I'm like, I'll ride with anybody, but I don't know if somebody wants me to just start riding with them.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I would be happy if I'm riding up the block, if homeboy on his dusty Banshee, pulls up next to me and starts riding. Great.
Yeah.
Let's do it,
Give
bro.
you the signal, throw the blinkers on or something like that, just to let you know. Let's
do it.
Let's go.
So everybody that we came across, and it must have been 5 or 6 different groups, and it was all Spanish bulls. Because I don't know if maybe the Spanish population has quadrupled in Camden, but that's really all we saw on the bikes yesterday.
That's all I know in Camden is Spanish Bulls.
Well, there's black dudes out there.
I mean, I'm sure there are, but
And there's 4 or 5 white hookers.
as long as I've existed in that
It's
area,
mostly.
it's been mostly Spanish.
Well, east for sure.
Yeah.
And north.
Yeah.
South Camden is where it gets a little bit more
A
mixed.
little more mixed, yeah.
Yeah. And by mixed, we mean other things that are not white.
Right.
No, there's zero crackers out there. But that's irrelevant to me. I've been running through hoods since I was 15.
It's not about that.
Yeah. So we ride with everybody we pull up next to, right? Mm-hmm. Pull up next to this Razor with a refrigerator-sized engine on the back.
Right.
And we're riding with him for a minute. He rips way ahead of us because he's got 450,000 cc's on the back of his little thing.
It's got a V8 in there.
He had tinted windows on the Razor, cuz. Then the Razor has soft windows. Like it has
Right.
the old school
Yeah, like
Jeep
the Jeep
zip-up windows.
yeah.
But they were tinted zip-up windows. I'm like, that's sick, dude. I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to start looking for a set of those.
They were just painted black.
They could have been. He rips out ahead of us and then pulls off the road over by River Road to what looks like an empty lot. And so Screw's like, he's about to hit the trails.
Okay.
I'm like, all right. Because he hit us with one of these. Like, follow me, right?
Right.
And I'm like, all right, if he's hitting trails. So by the time we get that, quarter mile up to where he's at, he's pulling into an empty lot that only has an abandoned building or what appeared to be an abandoned building. And he's hitting the button on a garage that opens up to reveal a beautiful, clean, sparkling shop.
You're like in the middle of Grand Theft Auto now.
Bro, exactly what it was. This was Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, I'm not going to this guy's shop. I don't know him like that.
What's he going to do? Hit the button and shut the door on you?
Right. Whatever. I don't know the guy.
Right.
And we're not in friendly turf.
No.
It's not that Camden doesn't have the reputation for being America's friendliest city 7 times in a row.
We met a bunch of pals just cruising around Camden. You know how it is.
We pull over to we're riding out east, right? And we ride down a block where Screw's like, oh, I used to come get some shit over here, right? Right on that house right there where all them dudes are on bikes. I'm like, oh, all right, how about that? We're heading kind of back around the block because we saw some wooded area that maybe had some, let's go see if we find a trail back there.
Yeah.
As we're pulling up, dude on like, it must have been a Blaster or like a YZ quad. It was a quad that wasn't a Banshee. I immediately can recognize a Banshee. Any other quads, I'm not so sure of. I'm not heavy in the quad world like that.
I got you.
But it was something fast, a race quad type of John. And he pulls up next to me with a mean mug showing behind his black ski mask, because you know the black ski masks are on everybody nowadays. And he just peels wheels, and I'm like, all right. And we just raced, right?
Oh, okay.
Like I thought there was a half second when it was aggressive.
Right. And then it was
And when I hit the throttle, I could see his eyes turn to a smile behind the mask, and we start racing. And we rip down the street, peel off. You know, he goes this way, we go that way, right? But I'm like, this is great. Everybody we run into, we ride with them for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and then we go this way and they go that way.
Right.
Because Camden is a literal dirt bike, like motocross playground.
Yeah.
The boys in blue are out in full effect. And when we first get to the city and we're riding around, I'm like questioning it a little bit. I'm like, damn, those lights are on, because they're parked over here. We shred past them, and then I look and I see lights in the mirror. I'm like, I got lights in the mirror. You don't think they're coming for us? Screw's like, I don't know. I'm like, all right, well, let's keep going.
Turn and see what
let's make a
happens.
couple turns. And sure enough, after a couple turns, we wind up seeing them fly this way in front of us. I'm like,
yeah, you lost them. You dropped your star rating down to down to
yeah, I'm
zero,
not
and you
sure
were
that
good.
we lost them or they weren't following us yet at that point. But then I start putting it together. I'm like, they're not worried about us.
You're not doing anything.
We're not doing anything. I'm fully legal on my bike.
Yeah.
They're better off chasing one of these kids, hoping that maybe one of their bikes is stolen.
Right.
My shit is fully tagged and legal.
Right.
So then I stopped even thinking about cops, to the point where we ignored all traffic laws.
Right.
Because the streets are barren. The street is empty, really, except for one occasional car. 50% of the vehicles on the streets were dirt bikes, quads, and slingshots. Mm-hmm. And then the other 50 were cars that were parked, really, more than anything.
Right.
So I stopped even thinking about traffic laws, to the point where we're ripping up Broadway, running red lights and stop signs, and I run through a stop sign that I then see over here that there's a cop parked on the opposite side. I'm like, shit. Nothing happened.
There's no way. I mean, listen, I'm not telling you to go out there and be flagrant, but there's no way a cop is just like chasing you down for running a red light.
Anybody.
I'm maybe
not on dirt bikes.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe a car or a truck, but a dirt bike shoots through the light and nobody even honks a horn. He's not going to do anything.
Right. Which is, once we found that out, it's full bore.
It's on.
Yeah. Now there's no
we're gonna
rules
test
out
the
here.
limits on it. Let's figure out where the cliff is.
2 times we found, Camden is certain neighborhoods are very desolate.
Yeah.
East Camden is a little bit less burnt down than the rest of Camden.
Right.
Which is where we ran into most of the guys that we took our little couple block rides with. We ran into the illest Suzuki Samurai that you ever seen.
I seen.
Yeah. That thing was like fresh out of a Dub magazine.
Yeah, it really was. That was right out of Midnight Club.
Bruh.
With the big tire on the Samurai with the big tires and the chrome wheels and that beautiful paint job.
The paint job was crisp.
Insane.
It looked like a mini G-Wagon.
Yeah, it did.
You know?
Yeah. I had to when I saw the picture, I had to double back because I didn't even think there was any Suzuki Samurais left on the planet.
Me neither, dude. Especially not one that clean.
Not in that condition, yeah.
Well, this guy's been selling crack since '82, so he probably had that Samurai at the boom of the crack era.
It's all locked down.
And has just been putting money into it ever since.
Smallest thing he could get with independent suspension to get out.
because my partner Sparky, who spent his fair share of time running through the hood, but sometimes I wonder, does he know the rules of, what to do and what not to do out here? He's like, I got to stop and take a picture. And I was a little bit hesitant. I'm like, but whatever. I won't tell you not to. So he stops, starts taking pictures of this samurai, and this brolic-ass Spanish bull kicks the front door open with hate in his heart.
Oh, yeah.
And I quick try to defuse it. I'm like, yo, this shit's fresh.
Right.
This shit is so dope. And he kind of like calmed down. He was like, oh, okay. And Screw's over there doing a whole
Fashion
photo shoot. Come on, man. Let's get out of here. Slingshots, razors. Oh, this is what I was going to say. South Camden, way desolate.
Yeah.
Danny Brown has a song called Fields.
Okay.
And he's rapping about Detroit and how Detroit is where I live. It was house, field.
Right.
Field, house. Right? House, field, which is South Camden.
Right.
More field than house.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
A few of those 2 separate occasions, we found fields that had berms like already dug into them, where the boys are out there just shredding the field and kicking up a berm specifically tailored for dirt bikes.
Dirt biking.
I'm like, this is unreal. We have found
I'm not going to sleep here, but this is my kind of town.
a giant-sized dirt bike arena.
Just a huge playground.
Where nobody says anything.
Right.
And you can ride with other guys are out here doing the same thing. So we did that. Stopped at a gas station. Camden gets the rap that it gets because it's a rough town.
Okay.
There's no denying it.
All right.
You know what I mean? Camden's a rough spot. Them dudes grow up rough, and they're tough kids, and they got to deal with tough shit.
Sure.
So you got to deal with tough things. It produces a tough attitude and a tough dude.
Right.
So we're out there, and that whole time didn't have not a near one issue.
Had nada.
Rode with some guys, got waves, got head nods. Got a bunch of little kids telling us to pop wheelies.
Right.
I'm like, maybe at the end of the summer, come see me.
When I get better at this.
You check me out in August and ask me to wheelie. We might have something going on.
Like 4 weeks in, relax.
I'm like 4 rides in.
I got my rookie plates.
Yeah. So get out of there. The place that I run into the problem is at a gas station.
Sure. Because now you're sitting still.
I'm putting my $4.60 in the tank.
So half a gallon.
Yep. And I'm trying to every time that I've put gas in the Warthog, I just do it myself. Because there's something a little bit fruity about letting another dude
put his pipe between your legs.
Uh-huh.
I gotcha.
Yeah. I'm like, I got it, man. I'm good, thanks.
Don't worry about it. Just swipe the card.
So I pull up to this gas station with the same idea.
Right.
Swipe it, put my pin in, start filling up, finish at $4.60. Hang up the nozzle.
The nozzle.
The nozzle. I was gonna say gun. Hang up the gas gun.
Right.
The gas ratchet. Hang up the gas.
The gas burner.
The gas. What do you call the thing on the end of a hose?
Nozzle.
Yeah, but there's like a different name when it's your hose in the yard. The sprayer. I don't know. There's somebody help me out. Hit the like also. So I hang it up, and here comes I would assume Indian, some sort of Hindu. He had a turban. He was rocking a turban, long beard. However, he's either a guy who'd never bothered to learn English,
right,
or he just showed up, because I couldn't understand not a word what he's saying. The only thing I could make out is he's telling me I can't go, right?
Okay.
I'm like, what do you mean I can't go? I paid. He's like, no, you no paid. I'm like, wait a second, cuz I had to put the card in order to get this
pumping.
gas.
Right.
It's not just going to give me free gas. He's like, you can't go. You can't go. And he's walking over to his little hut.
Right.
He prints out the receipt, and he tries to bring it over and show me as if that was like the winning ticket.
Did he just want you to sign it or something?
I'm like, bruh, that receipt says the same thing that says. $4.60 on the receipt, $4.60 on a gas pump. Like,
Right.
yeah, I'm not giving you no more money. I think this was a hustle.
It was, or it was a miscommunication, one or the other. Like maybe maybe he needs your signature. Maybe it's one of those gas stations still needs you to sign for a credit card purchase.
I didn't see a signature spot on the bottom. That's all I'm saying. So he starts getting
all that effort for $4.60.
He stands in front of the bike.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, cuz you don't want to do this. I'm not tough, dude.
No.
And I don't want to be tough.
Right.
However, I also
There's a
know
point.
that I'm not a slouch.
Right.
So I'm like, cuz I'm not giving you more money. I already paid this thing.
Right.
You can't go. You can't go. I don't want you to call the cops because I just don't want to deal with that.
No.
Although if you call the cops, I'm in the right here.
Yeah.
So you just look like an idiot.
Right.
But we're not going to let it get there.
No.
I stepped a little bit out of character.
Oh, okay.
I punched him dead in the face.
Smart. Yeah. And
No.
then take off.
He's blocking the bike. So I'm like, okay, let me see if maybe I can get off the bike and like puff my chest out a little bit.
Right.
And that will be enough to back you
A
down.
little peacocking and a walk away. Meanwhile, he's standing in front of a motorbike, so do you think you standing up is going to make a difference?
Right. So at the same time, I hop off to puff out my chest and look like a tough guy. Here comes Sparky on his bike, and he just comes in yelling because he's over on the other side seeing
Right.
what's happened. So I'm like, all right, I'll let you yell at him for a minute. I'll fall back, let you yell at him
Yeah,
for
he
a
doesn't
minute.
deal with gas attendants anymore, so he can just be reckless about it.
Yeah,
not
he never
worry
has to
about
go
it.
there again. So finally, the dude's like, no, you can't go. Stay there. And he walks back to his hut for something.
Okay.
And we're on the headphones. I'm like, screw, let's go, dude.
It's time.
Kick it, and I'm out of there. I don't got time. I'm trying to ride and have a good
Yeah,
day.
you did the right thing. If anything ever happens, you have all the proof in the world that you did the right thing. You're not worried.
You're trying to scam me out of $4.60,
Right.
you son of a bitch. Now, if you get that scam off 100 times a day, it made it worthwhile.
Sure.
Only got to get it off 100 times.
Yeah.
For
You only
that
need
to-
100 different people to show up and pump their own gas, and then you act like they didn't pay.
You get 100 people to place the fuel spitter in the gas hole.
That's what they say.
Perfectly stated, Deuces Coco.
That was part of the Pornhub documentary.
It sounds like a Pornhub situation.
Category.
So that was so all of that trip through the motocross playground that is Camden, New Jersey,
Right.
is on the GoPro, loaded onto the tablet.
Right.
I just have to find a day that has 26 hours.
Is there clips of the gas fight?
No, I didn't have it
Wasn't
on at that
the
point.
time.
No, I didn't. I thought I was done with catching footage.
Right. You had no idea your best footage was yet to come.
Yeah. So whatever day this week has 26 hours,
Right.
I'll be able
That's
to
the
get
one.
to the footage to cut it down and put it on.
Oh, you
on
got to
YouTube.
wait until October for that, right?
For the 26th day for
Yeah,
daylight savings.
For 26 hours, yeah.
I think you only get 25. Shit. Well,
We need a leap year then, too.
We're-
That'll add it all together.
we're in a little bit of a pickle.
Sounds like it.
We'll figure it out. Keep your eye on either the TWD channel or the gig. It may be both places.
Right.
You
Why
know?
not?
I might just put
Share
it
the
on,
love.
on both and see where it catches. Also, we figured out how to go live on the bike.
Right.
So that might happen on the gig channel too. It's, whatever. I was thinking about, and I don't remember how this came about maintaining, I was thinking about a book,
Okay.
writing a book.
Oh, okay. We've talked about this.
We've talked about me writing a book.
Yeah.
My book is mostly autobiographical stories of a young knucklehead.
Right.
Nothing like super crazy about the subject, but my writing skill set is like so out of this world.
Right. It needs to be transferred to everyone.
I don't think that I brag jokingly a lot. There's not a lot of things that I brag seriously about where I'm like, I'm the greatest at this.
Right.
Writing short stories, short autobiographical stories, I'm up there with Hemingway, dude.
That's about right. Yeah.
Different styles,
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
but definitely same level of vivid imagery in my writing.
Right.
You can ask the boys in the chat who've read the literature that I've wrote, and they will second the fact that I am a tremendous writer.
They'll verify it for you.
I tried to get a book published, but the publisher wanted me to pay them.
Yeah, that's always weird.
Yeah, it felt like you felt like you're scamming me. Like this is I'm giving you gold here. You want me to pay you to give you gold?
Right.
He's a modern Tolstoy.
That's beautiful. That's
about right.
That's what I was thinking.
Nail on the head.
Bingo.
Oh, so I'm thinking about writing. I was just playing with this thought.
Right.
Because somebody was saying something about writing books. And it occurred to me, maybe one of the scenarios that hasn't, that's working against us
Okay.
as a creative team.
Right.
I don't have a particular specialty. I don't have a field of knowledge that I'm so vastly knowledgeable in that I could be called an expert.
Okay. You don't have a particular subject matter. You're not a subject matter expert anywhere.
I'm good at a lot, great at nothing.
Jack of all trades, ace of none.
Exactly.
I understand.
There's nothing I'm great at. There's a lot that I'm good at.
Right.
Well, I'm great at writing, but
Yeah. But besides
inside of that, like as far as a topic to call myself an expert on,
that, mostly going to be writing about you.
yeah. But I was thinking,
Okay.
what am I fully versed in that's going to be not self-help per se, but it could be self-help. Like what can I give you an expertise level thesis statement on?
Okay.
I'd be interested in what you think I could give an expertise level thesis on.
I would think that because of the studying that you put into it and your own personal experience, I would think that somewhere in the training sort of nutritionalist, healthy, in that space of I can tell you how to lose weight and put on muscle and what to do when and how. Like, I think that you have enough personal experience, and then you also, as far as I remember, you went and got certified.
Yeah.
So you have whatever knowledge it took to do that.
Yeah.
So I think that would probably be something that you could hand out. You could hand out information and knowledge and never be concerned that, ooh, and what am I saying? Is it wrong? Is it right? I don't know. No, I know that what I'm saying is what you should be saying in this particular situation.
Yeah, if I had my wallet, I would pull out my certified personal trainer card and flash it at you, but I don't. A link for copping D-ball. I don't know where to get D-ball, though. I don't even know if you can get D-ball anymore. But if you get some, let me know. Because I'm down 10 pounds in the past 5 days.
Right.
So at the end of this month, I got to pack that back on. D-ball sounds like the perfect way to do it.
Sure.
No, the thing that I am a master of, that I've looked back on my life and that I've mastered, is the ability to do time, keep myself in mental spirits, and come out mostly unscathed.
Okay.
I got a few bad tattoos, but other than that, no real war wounds. So the idea is that I could write a book, and I don't know how big of a seller it would be, on how to maintain your happiness through jail.
So I think that skill set is applicable outside of jail. I think you can write that book, and it can just sort of be how to be a loner in today's society and keep your mental acuity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think you can transfer that beyond the obvious discrepancies in being in jail versus not being in jail.
Yeah.
I think you could teach a person, okay, you're by yourself here, but here's how you navigate through that so you never feel like, fuck, I'm by myself. It's not worth being here anymore. And I can advance myself in these different ways, even though I have to do it alone.
Right. Well, since I'm never going to do it,
Right.
I'm never going to write that book.
Right.
Let's talk about it now for a few minutes.
Okay.
Right? I think that and we'll relate it to jail if you're not a jailbird or you don't have a pending case right now, which is probably a very small percentage of our viewership doesn't have pending cases, I think.
Right. It's a prerequisite for signing up.
I know Aid is coming up against a big kingpin charge. They caught him with 30 bricks on the other side of the bridge. and yeah. There's not too much more joke there than that. I was going to try and take that one and run with it, but I just don't think it's going to work out.
We're good here.
Everything is fine. We'll continue on moving forward now. It's another good hat, Pay.
Thank you.
Victor's on. Are you kidding me? Victor's got a rap sheet longer than most of us.
Victor doesn't talk about it because Victor can't talk about
Listen, if Victor doesn't have his name in a system somewhere, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
it. There's
Cause
a reason he's showing up with a pseudonym.
Deuces. Maybe Deuces is clean. I don't know. Maybe he's an industry plant. Deuces, guys, be careful around Deuces Coco. Word on the streets is he's an industry plant.
Don't we need an industry plant to push this thing over the top?
Yeah, but the industry has planted him here, I think.
Oh, I see. To keep us down.
Yeah, we're on the wrong side.
He's reporting back.
We're on the wrong side of the
He's
plant.
an industry narc.
He's an industry root. We need the plant. So take it as you may.
Yeah.
You want to apply it to your upcoming bid that all yous have to go do, or if you want to just apply it to life in general. And people don't want to hear this.
Right.
Some guys will hear it. Some guys won't. It's something that I've spouted to Cousin Balky. I've spouted it to our former co-host, who shall remain nameless, just because it's funnier to not name him.
It's more mysterious.
Yeah. The guy who used to sit in that chair. I've spouted this to person after person.
Right.
That the first ultimate number one step for you to maintain your sanity and engage in some happiness is your physical fitness.
Right.
Because if you are sitting and doing nothing, you could be doing nothing at all. You could be stuck. I've been stuck in a room with nothing to entertain me besides the Bible. And that's not very entertaining. For me.
Sure.
If it is for you, go. Whatever.
God bless.
God, where's that?
No, God bless.
Is your physical fitness.
Right.
Because there is a direct correlation between your body repairing its muscles from after physical fitness and the amount of endorphins and serotonin that are running through your brain. It starts to spike while you're working out and continues well on into the recovery process, right? So you are getting yourself at an advantage from whatever situation you are in by adding serotonin to your brain.
Okay.
Right? This is the TWD Prozac. The gym, physical fitness in general, it could be the pull-up bar at the park. It could be a room where you're just doing push-ups and leg lifts and burpees.
Right.
You're giving yourself medicine that's adding to your serotonin, thus making everything that's in front of you easier to deal with by tenfold if you have a clear, happier brain.
Okay.
I tell the Popo I usually rank lieutenant. Loved Benny Hill in those formative years, says Deuces Coco.
So if what you're saying is true, and I think it majoritively is, what do you do for the person who it doesn't work like that?
I haven't met the person that it doesn't work like that.
What do you-
Now, people will tell you that it doesn't work like that.
No. So what do you do for the person who, like, for example, okay, they want to commit to their physical fitness, and the first thing they need to do is cardio to get to a position where they can do the other stuff. And
Yeah.
I know you're not a huge cardio guy, but you need to be able to.
I've been getting heavier on cardio.
You need to be able to breathe in order to lift weights. It's just math.
Yeah, I'm going hard on the Stairmaster lately.
And then
My
that-
legs are chiseled. I'll show them to you right now if you want to.
You really want to leg off with me? That's the one thing I will stand in this room and tell you it's a bad idea for you to do.
You might have stronger legs.
No, I got the carved. You've seen the calves.
You got good
can't fuck
calves.
with the
Fucking guys got good calves. That's true. You're right. Maybe I don't want to leg off. But leg off versus me, 2 years ago,
Oh, okay.
I'm chiseled.
Well, that's good.
Greek god status.
So you have a person who's like, okay, I'm ready. I need to get myself in shape. I need to fix myself. And I hear the guy from that podcast tell me that I got to exercise, and that's going to fire off the endorphins, and that's going to make me feel better, which is then going to encourage me to do the same thing again tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And then you get on your cardio, whatever your cardio of choice is, and you make it 4.5 minutes and you fall over because you just don't have it right now because you've never done it. And now you're fucking angry with yourself and you're miserable and you feel like I don't want to do this anymore because it makes me feel even worse when you're actually putting the spotlight on the deficiency.
Yeah, well...
Versus just assuming that it's a deficiency.
Yeah. No journey is all ups.
Sure.
Right? And that would be... This guy's case is no different.
Right.
Right? It brings you to like another set of principles that's necessary for maintaining your happiness and your sanity, which is that you're not allowed to give up on yourself.
Okay.
You can fall and you could fail,
Right.
But you always have, every step has to be forward.
This is the self-discipline part of it.
If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards.
Right.
Right? There's no such thing as stagnancy. Stagnancy is backward movement.
Right.
And it happens, and you get stuck in it. I've been stuck in it where, like, for a month, I mean, you've seen it in action, like, where for a month, I'm like, you know? I get like that. It's because there's no forward progress, whether it's through my own deficiencies or because of outside forces. But when that type of mood is going on inside of my brain and my brain chemistry is off balance in that kind of way, there's always the thing in my head that goes, just keep going forward because you get out of this.
Right.
It comes back around again.
There's a top to the hill, and then you get to coast downwards.
The 12-step programs would say, this too shall pass.
Okay.
Right? Which is very true.
Right.
Because if you ain't got life, you ain't got long.
Sure.
That's what they tell you.
That is what they tell you.
You ain't got life, you ain't got long. If you got life, you're in a different boat that I don't know how to relate to those principles and keep. That's a tough boat to be in.
Okay.
That's rocky waves. That's a lot of turbulence on that plane.
Right.
But you can't give up on yourself. And the way that I don't give up on myself is a simple phrase that, like, when it gets tough, like, that phrase is kind of the one that I hang on to, which is like, what am I going to do? Just lay down and die?
Right.
What am I going to just lay down
quit.
and die?
Right.
There's no, that option has to be erased from your head. Because if you do allow yourself to give up on yourself on whatever it is, or if it's across the board, where are you going to be? Everything will fall apart. If you give up on this, now you're giving yourself that inch of space. Even if it's, let's try something new, right?
Right.
Hey, let's work on we haven't quit the podcast yet because I refuse to give up on what I see as the final goal.
Right.
Right? Maybe some people look at this path and go, come on, man, it didn't.
Right.
It's not going to pop. But if you keep going, one of two things is going to happen. You pop and everything starts to work out, or you die trying.
You die, like 50 would say.
Yeah. So I'll die. For the most part, I'm going to die trying at whatever it might be. If I implement it in my life, I don't give myself an inch to give up on myself.
Okay.
We're dealing with fasting this month.
Right.
A few times I thought to myself, mid-afternoon, I go, maybe I'll just drink a black coffee and justify it by saying, like, it's not calories, you know?
Right.
It'll calm my stomach down. I'll make it nice and easy through this back half of the day and get to a nice salmon dinner with broccoli.
Right out the air fryer.
Cold water. Maybe even I'll get funny and drink a lemonade, you know?
Look at that.
Get silly on them. And I've thought that, but I don't give myself the inch and that segment to, like, play that thought out and let it unfurl.
Okay.
I learned early on in my journey of staying off the shit that there's two types of people who get off the shit, right? There's people who get cleaned up and still have themselves half living in that world.
Okay.
They'd be glad to, like, tell stories about what it was like out on the streets and, like, glorify it. Like, you know, me and you both got clean last month.
Right.
We both got 30 days sober. There's, you know, guys who will go, oh, Pay, where were you running at? What were you, what drugs were you using? Where were you getting high at? Where'd you this, that, and the third?
Right.
And start building this whole story and, like, you build this world in your head where you're still getting high.
Okay.
Right? And you're still in that. And then there's the other type of guys who got 30 days clean and you come up to me saying, yo, where did you this? Where did you that? And you're trying to find somebody to help you expand upon this world in your brain.
Right.
And I go,
to, like, flesh it out, and you're just like,
nah, I'm not going to walk down that path.
I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever you say to get past it, to not give that inch of, like, giving up, right? It's just, nope. Like, you gotta you have to learn, and I don't know if this is something that is a learned behavior or if I was just lucky enough to like have this as a part of my
That's just how you're wired.
genetic makeup.
Right.
That like I have for the most part, I have the ability to kind of shut a thought off before it heads into a direction that I don't want it to. And I think that I learned it via getting clean.
Boxing Krang out.
Exactly. Yeah, you
Gotcha.
got to fight Krang. Mm-hmm. You got to fight. You're in a. It's so cheesy because I've heard it 100 times, but you're in a fight against yourself, particularly in a situation like we're talking about, whether it be you're getting cleaned up and you're in recovery, or you're about to do a bid, or you're just battling depression. Depression is just you versus yourself. Now, there's the cases where like you're chemically imbalanced and you need more than the TWD manual can help you with.
Sure.
And we suggest that you go find that help somewhere.
Absolutely.
But more often, I think than not, is that in this world today, we tell people like, oh, you're depressed.
Right.
Like, yeah, you're depressed, but that doesn't mean that you can't get out of it.
Right. I think I was talking to my son about it today, and I think there's a distinction between sad and depressed, and one of them needs treatment, and the other needs one of them needs treatment from the outside in, and the other needs treatment from the inside out. Sad is something that you can work on yourself and bring yourself out of. Depressed is something that you may need a bigger assistance than just your own look on the bright side, I'm going to fake it till I make it sort of attitude.
And I think we overprescribe depression when many a times it's just sadness.
Sure.
And you have to be, you have to have the fortitude to decide which is it really. Like, can you be brutally honest? This is another piece to how to maintain your happiness and get through a bid.
And your thoroughness.
Yeah. How to maintain your thorough is like, can you be brutally honest with yourself? I fall short on it.
Right.
I can be brutally honest, but I also sometimes ignore it.
Well, we all have blind spots.
You know? I sometimes ignore it where it's something that I don't want to address.
Okay.
Or I'm not yet ready to address.
Gotcha.
But when I make the conscious effort to address any issue that it might be, the way to the end of it is brutal honesty with yourself.
Right.
Right? You have to be able to say, like, am I bullshitting myself here? Or do I really need to seek guidance from a professional?
Right.
You can always come seek guidance from the professor of thorough, Sean Cove, and his compadre. Is this live? Prof TV? You're gosh darn right it's live. It's the only way it is, babe. He's in the chat, the live chat, asking if it's live. Come on, man.
Maybe just double checking.
Yeah. Oh, you're there, dude. Deuces said, your work environment is a therapy for recovery.
So this work environment, the gigs work environment, not in general. He's
No.
saying we're good therapy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this is our leisure environment. I'm a guy who's real big into leisure.
Sure.
You know? Pretty much everything I do is based in the idea of leisure.
Getting to it or doing it.
Getting to leisure and making the most of leisure. Mm-hmm. And I think that this is he said the fuck is gig light.
He hasn't been around in a couple weeks.
Yeah, he hasn't showed up. We got a lot of explaining to do.
Meantime, go find the Thorough White Dude podcast and subscribe and like to that.
Yeah, the Thorough White Dude channel on YouTube. That's we're heading over there. So if you haven't subscribed to the Thorough White Dude channel on YouTube yet, anybody, go do it. I don't know what my train of thought was now. You know, I wanted to finish strong and then...
Sure.
I mean, what was I saying? Oh, the work environment being...
Just to get to leisure.
I would beg to differ that my work environment is more of a petri dish for relapse and drug use and cutting yourself and suicide.
I think every work environment is that breeding ground.
Bro, not if I open up a dirt bike mechanic shop.
I think even then, because
I got 20 years till I get to hanging it up at a dirt bike shop.
And I'm not telling you not to open your dirt bike mechanic shop, but at some point, the dirt, just like with anything else that you love, doing it every day constantly,
repetitive.
it wears it out. And
For
then
sure.
all of a sudden you get on your bike on a Sunday and you're like, you know what? I've been on fucking bikes all week fixing whatever, and I just don't feel like it today. And
Yeah.
now you're screwed.
Yeah. Well, and this, right, that repetitive nature of life
Right.
is where, when I was locked up, what came into play there was like my ability to create a story.
Okay.
Right? That was my kind of escape from the repetitive nature of waking up in a box with two other grown men day in and day out. Like our entertainment was, yeah, I'll tell you a story. Sit
Right.
down. And then I'm theatrically standing in front of them and giving them a whole breakdown of how we used to buy PCP on 7th and Clearfield back in 02.
Right.
And got laughs, and they're gassed up, and they're engaged in the story. So now we have a thing that's bringing us outside of our particular reality at that time, and kind of akin to what would be your leisure time in the free world.
Right.
Right? So when I'm out on a bike, or I'm out in the shed working on a bike, or I'm up here podcasting, mostly, besides the first 10 minutes of the podcast when I bitch about what happened at work the previous week,
Right.
I'm mostly leaving all that elsewhere so that I can have something, my leisure. I can have the ability to kind of leave all that there and escape from that dull day in, day out. It's why I keep adding things to my life, because as life stretches on and I get more into fatherhood and husbandhood and business ownership and all the things that are like real adult things to do, the more I see like, oh, this isn't going to change. This is just more of this, that, and the third. For the first, from 30 until 35, it was all kind of new because I was living with a new brain.
Right.
I had got off the shit. I'm a new father. I'm a new business owner. These are all new things. Years go by, I fall into, oh, this is the same every day, and I wind up having to really chase leisure as a kind of almost a purpose.
Right.
Right? Leisure has become a purpose in my life.
You have to like put it on the schedule and figure it out before you can get to it. Like, okay, I'm going to set aside X, Y, and Z so that I can go and have this leisure at this point in time.
I spent an exorbitant amount of money on a throw rug this weekend so that I could go ride dirt bikes without my wife giving me attitude.
Right,
because
exactly.
You got to do the things
Yeah.
first
Everything costs money.
so that you can unguiltily enjoy your leisure time. Now, if you're a single man, you probably don't have too many issues like that. Your leisure time is your leisure time.
Right.
But if you are not a single man, you have to get the responsibilities out the way, because you don't want to be trying to, break the cycle of repetitiveness and be feeling guilty about what you didn't take care of.
Right.
Get it all out the way.
Right.
What are you looking at over there, Pay Dirt?
I'm just riding along. I'm setting something up in case you ask for a particular thing, and then if you don't, you don't, and it's no big deal. It was something we texted about earlier today.
All right, so
But we
let's
don't
do
have
that. No. I do want to talk about you being a hype beast,
Okay.
because as Cousin Baxter made mention of how cool your hat is, Payday's the guy. He's got the coolest. If you're looking for any... Hold on.
Go ahead. Rewind.
We're talking about you being a hype beast.
Right.
It makes me just want to mention that there's not a podcast out there that has a fresher hat collection than my cohort over here. The guy hasn't... Go back, watch every episode all the way through, and you tell me if you find him wearing the same hat twice. I doubt it. The guy's got hats for years, apparently.
Hats for you. At least 3, right?
You're at least dealing with 106 hats at this point. Maybe more. And Payday says to me, he texts me today and says, we could talk about how much of a dope I am.
Yeah.
And I say, well, I mean, I thought we'd do that a little bit every week, but if you want to fully focus on it, what are you doing dopey? And he goes, I almost got burnt for a pair of sneaks.
I sure did.
Me watching Payday from the outside, because sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees.
Sure.
I said, well, if you're going to live the hype beast lifestyle as Payday does, sometimes you're going to have to deal with hype beast shysters.
Right.
Payday claims he's not a hype beast.
I don't believe that I am, but, after you texted me back and gave me my list,
All the signs are there.
I fall into the category.
All the signs are there, dude. One, he's wearing bright colors. Today he's not, but many a day he's got some.
No, I definitely have.
He's got some teal or some yellow or an orange or a,
For sure.
electric blue maybe.
Yeah.
He's got a vivid hat and sneaker collection.
Right.
He has he's thigh deep in the hip hop culture. These are all hype beast things. And to put the icing on the cake, nobody really knows what Payday does for work. If he even has a real job. So you really align very closely with a teenage hype beast.
Right. Not just a hype beast, but a teenage one.
I'm not here to label anybody.
Right.
Because you know me, Bo.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
But you know me.
I don't want to be put into any sort of box.
Right.
Unless it's a box of the Professor of Thorough.
Right.
I don't want to put you in a box. But I'm not saying you're not a hype beast.
The only counter I have to that, and it's a small counter because now I'm mad that I'm a hype beast. The only counter I have to that is when I make my choices for hats and or sneakers, I couldn't give two shits about what anybody else thinks is good looking or cool or hot.
And I believe that, but 75% of the time, what you think is cool, good looking, or hot aligns with what a hype beast would say is cool,
That's
good
'cause
looking,
I got
or
great
hot.
taste. What am I supposed to do about that?
Or
Or I'm a hype beast.
or you've got the taste of a follower. You're being subconsciously fed your
Tricked.
taste.
Right.
I think you would dress more like a guy, who wears polo sweatsuits every day, and like my style is my style, Jack.
Right.
Action Jackson. There's no hype beast about me because there really is nothing that will veer me off of the path that I've been on since I was 16. I've wanted to wear polo every day since 16. If I met 16-year-old Cove right now, he would look at me and go, shit, I'm 37. I wear polo every day. Got a pretty decent Nike collection.
Nailed it.
And you got a sick dirt bike. Oh, and you're married to a bro with a big butt. Because you did it.
Well, if what you were doing as a kid is your criteria for not being
I'm
a hype
still
beast,
I'm
the
still
only thing
19 in my
the
brain.
only thing that's different for me now is my sneakers. Everything else has existed. The bright colors, the hats, all of that has existed the whole time. It's just the sneakers that are relatively new.
Yeah, I mean, you're old enough that you may have started hype beast culture.
I invented it, yeah.
You might have been like one of the integral puzzle pieces
I was
in
patient
the
zero.
formation, in the foundation of hype beastery.
They tested all the marketing on me.
So what happened with you getting burnt for a pair of sneakers? Prof got burnt by Flight Club, or almost burnt by Flight Club, so he's interested in hearing what your deal is.
So at least Flight Club is way
used
more
to wild
legitimate
off
than
the
the story I'm
vomit
about to tell. I'm going to try something here with the cameras.
all
Let's
right,
see.
make it happen. If we get signed off, it's because Payday messed
Screwed it up.
and we'll see you next week.
Hype beast. All right. So I have a modest sneaker collection. My sneaker collection, I maybe have 20 pairs.
Okay.
And I'm trying to curtail it because I've noticed that like a lot of those pairs just never ever get worn. So
Right.
then what's the point in even holding on to them?
You got
I
to do
don't-
some spring cleaning every once in a
Yeah,
while.
I don't believe in just buying a sneaker to have it and put it on a shelf. If I'm buying it, it's because I want to wear it and perhaps show it off.
Yeah.
So
The hype beasts say, what's their saying for that? I wear my pairs or something?
yeah.
There's like a hype beast
Yeah,
saying
there's a I'm not a hype beast. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I
See?
know.
So there's a pair on the screen, and these are the Sakai Vapor Waffles.
Vapor wifeums.
Vapor Waffles.
If you guys are looking for a babe, you put on a pair of these.
You're done. You're in.
You got it.
So I have these. I have them in size 13. Now, when you are a sneakerhead, size 13 is like, if you own it, it's better than gold. If you're looking for it, good fucking
Hard to
luck.
find.
Yeah, they don't make a lot of 13s. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I have this pair. I never wear them. I wore them a couple times. They're very comfortable, but this little split in the heel,
It's not doing it for you.
I don't love driving with this because I always
Okay.
feel like it's going to get caught and when I go to pull my foot off the gas, and I'm either going to tear the shoe or crash.
I can see that.
So they sit. So there's these two other pairs. Let me see if I can dig them up real quick. Okay. These are the Jordan 1
Unions?
Maison Chateaus.
Okay.
And
Yeah, no, that's not a hype beast pair.
this is my ultimate grail, This is the Air Max 90 Campfire.
Yeah, also not hype beast.
I completely missed. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, so you can go to StockX and you can go to GOAT and you can sell your sneakers.
Yeah.
And you can get cash for them, and that's all well and good.
Yeah.
There's this other site now called Trade Block. And Trade Block is it's a legit site. This is not about the site. But basically Trade Block is just like it sounds like. You list your sneakers, they give them estimated value. Everybody else lists their sneakers and says, "Hey, I'll send you these, you send me these, and we'll just trade out our shoes."
Gentlemen's agreements.
Gentlemen's agreements.
Yeah.
But it goes through the site. So there's like there's an intermediary, just like with GOAT or with StockX.
Yeah.
We both send it to Trade Block, and then Trade Block verifies them and sends them out to the other person.
An escrow, if you will. A sneaker, Nike escrow.
Perfect. So I'm on there the other day, and I get a message from a guy, and he wants a different pair of my sneakers.
He wants to trade you a pair of E-Tonics for those.
Well, yeah, but they're classics.
Yeah.
He wants a pair of, I got a pair of Jordan 4 Neons.
Okay.
He says, I want to just buy them outright. How much do you want for them? And I want $250.
Yeah.
He comes back the next day. He's like, I'm not interested in them anymore. I'm interested in the Vapor Waffles.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. They're estimated to be worth like $700-800.
Those?
Yeah. These are used, but they're very lightly used. I'll send you a bunch of pictures, and then I want $6 for them. I want $650 for them.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll give you $6, and I'll pay shipping. I'm like, $6 seems good.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. He says, all right, text me on Instagram, and we'll talk about it. Now, for anyone listening, don't leave the site.
Pay never looks at the camera, dude.
You never
Serious.
leave the site. Don't leave the site. It's the worst thing you can do. I leave the site. Because now
now the whole message is erased or whatever?
No, the messages aren't erased, but now there's no quality control.
There's no
There's no
intermediary.
intermediary. I've taken the intermediary out of it
Yeah.
because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
So, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's going to give me $6 for him, and then I can turn around, and now I can just go on StockX and buy the Maison Chateaus or whatever. And done. And now I got the sneaker I want, some cash in my pocket, and we'll move on. I message him. He's like, yeah. He's like, here's the deal. He's like, you put it into UPS, send me the tracking number, and once I see that it's moving, I will send you the money.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, this still seems roughly reasonable because he's sending me cash, which depending on how he sends it, he can't pull back. So me showing that the package is moving is now proof that it's moving.
Yeah.
The only catch he's got on his end is if a brick shows up, like an actual brick in a box shows up, he's fucked. Anyway, so I go to UPS, and he says, I want you to send it to me 3-day air. I'm paying for shipping anyway. So yeah, however you want me to send it, I'm going to send it. So first thing that happens, I go to UPS. Site says they're open till 7. They're only open till 6:30. I show up at 6:28 because I didn't know. We go through the whole thing. We're going to ship it out to California. I asked the lady twice, if I have to, can I pull this package back before it gets to its destination?
Yeah.
Because now I got 3 days in case things get a little
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you just call and then they'll do it for you. It's
Yeah.
like $8. Like, okay, I'm willing to take an $8 gamble
Yeah, for sure.
to see what happens here because this is going to wind up being $600. So she rings me all up. She gets me set up. She goes, I'm just going to ship it. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, it's free. I was like, why is it free? I already shut down the register, and I don't feel like going through setting it all up again. She's like, but here's your receipt. Here's your tracking number. All your stuff is legit. I'm just not going to charge you anything. I'm like, great. And the receipt still says I got charged $90 for shipping. So
Nice.
This guy's going to know that he's got to pay $90 in shipping. Box goes in. Box gets to Philadelphia International Airport that night. So right away, I shoot him a message. Here's the tracking number. Here's a picture of me putting him in the box. What's the next step? Nothing. All right. Right away, now I'm getting antsy because he's in California, and if I'm sending it to him at 9, it's 5. He's got time.
Right.
So now I'm getting antsy. So now I start really looking at his site and at his trade block site, and now I'm getting really, really antsy. Now I'm noticing, like, there hasn't been a post in quite some time.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go.
He's a gypsy.
So now I'm watching, and on
An Irish traveler, maybe.
on trade block, you can see if they're online or not.
Yeah.
And I see that he's online. So
And
I
not
message,
answering you.
not answering me. Like, all right. So now I know this is bullshit. I'm already, I give it the one full day.
What's the matter with you?
Now it's bullshit. So real quick, when we went to UPS, he asked me to ship it to his company name. I didn't ship it to a person. I shipped it to a company name,
Yeah.
but to a property address, which made me feel slightly more comfortable. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a P.O. box or just a general. It was a house. I looked at the house. I know who owns the house. I know the last time they paid taxes on the house. I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah, because you are an internet super sleuth.
Right. So so sent on Tuesday, call call on Wednesday. I want to kill the package. I say, I want to bring it back. I was wrong to send this. I got to bring it back. I'm sorry, 3-day air does not offer that.
You didn't. I see that you didn't pay here, so you don't have the opportunity to pull it back. That's only for our paying customers, sir.
They didn't know that. So she said, you can't do that with this type of shipping. You can't pull it back. I'm like, all right.
Which
now,
he knows and why he's...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's more experienced at conning people than I am at being conned.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, what are my options? I go, I'm afraid that there's porch pirates in the area and there's some expensive stuff in the package. What are my options? She's like, you can pay $8 and it will turn from deliver to the property to pick up at the UPS hub. I'm like, okay. So first and foremost, let's do that. And they're writing me up for it. And I'm like, so what happens at the hub? It's like the person has to show ID in order to get the package. So I'm like, all right, there's not a name on this package though. He's like, well, you're the shipper. You tell me who's picking it up. I go, great.
Paul Yakutan.
Exactly right. Paul Yakutan is picking it up. Here's his phone number. He's the only person who should lay his hands on this package. It's like, okay, got it. And I'm like, well, let me ask another question. If Paul doesn't show up, what happens? After 5 business days, it's returned to sender.
Right.
Like, okay, great. Friday, it gets to the hub.
Yeah.
And they call me at noon. And they're like, hi, Mr. Yakutan, your package is here. Come and pick it up whenever you want. We're open, blah, blah, blah. Don't forget to bring your ID.
Right.
Because we won't let it go without the ID. I'm like, all right. So now, at the very least, it's trapped at the hub.
Yeah.
So I want to call the hub, and I want to, like, really emphasize, only Paul can pick this up.
There's nobody else.
There's no story. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
Just Paul. But they don't let you call the hub directly.
Of course not.
So
that would be...
I'm talking to UPS themselves, and I'm like, it's so important that I'm the only person who picks this up. There's somebody trying to steal this package. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
She's like, no problem. I'm like, all right, now let me ask you a second question. Now that I'm sure that I'm not going to get there to pick it up, is there any way for me to, like, cut out the 5 business day wait? She's like, yeah, $24.99, and we can pull it all. We can return to sender today.
Here you go.
Well, not, we can return to sender.
Right.
All right, I'd like to do that. She's like, okay. Writes me up, $24.99, return to sender, done. That was at like noon. 5 o'clock, I get a call from UPS.
Saying that somebody's here to pick it up.
I pick up the phone, because now I'm answering all UPS's calls at this point.
Of course.
I pick up the phone, I'm like, hi, this is Paul. She goes, is this Mr. Yakutan? Yeah. I have the shipper on the other line. And I go, no, the fuck you do not. She goes, excuse me? I go, you do not have the shipper on the other line because I'm the shipper. She's like, but you're the recipient. I said, I know, and I'm the shipper. I said, there is no one else entitled to this package. Well, he says he didn't make those changes to the shipping, and I'm just trying to organize things. Like, he made no changes because he's not the shipper. I am. It's coming back to me, and that's it. She's like, I don't know. Can I bring him on the line?
Please.
And I'm like, I was like, listen.
I would welcome it.
I was like, listen, you can bring him on the line, but your recorded line is going to go wild when you bring him on. I was like, well, before you bring him on, why don't you ask him a couple questions? Ask him if he knows what time I called to stop it from going out. Ask him if he knows when I called to get it pulled back. Because the shipper would obviously know those things, right?
Right.
She's like, okay, I understand. I was like, and ask him if he knows what the last 4 digits of the card that paid for all this was, because I know that and he doesn't. Okay, hold on. I'll go check. Okay. Oh, he hung up. Yeah, because he's trying to steal my fucking package. She's like, I think I understand what's going on here. I was like, okay, great. What now? She's like, well, it's already...
Well, now we have to call customs and have them inspect the package before we send it back to you. Because there's an awful lot of emphasis placed on this package.
Coming back, right?
On this bread box-sized package. That's obviously worth a whole lot to you.
3 kilos.
Yeah.
You keep stressing how expensive it is. So she's like, also, once it's marked as return to sender, that can't be changed. That's like the final, that's the final thing. Like, okay. I get a call today from that hub. And now I'm answering that one too, because now I know what the hub number is. You gave us a call earlier and said you were still coming in to pick it up. I said, no. It's going return to sender, and that's it. She's like, are you sure? I'm 100% positive. There is no one by my name out there. No one shows up with my ID. It's not me.
Yeah.
Send it back. She's like, okay, no problem. So now on the UPS site, it says it's en route return to sender.
Yeah.
So I avoided a real fiasco there.
Let me ask you this. On the trade block site,
Yeah.
is there an option in the messaging
Don't be a dipshit.
No. For a phone call to this guy, like a voice phone call to talk to this guy.
No, but on Instagram there is.
What's his Instagram? Let's do it. Let's plug it in
I got my
and let's call him.
You have my phone, but hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
I hope that is this my phone cord? Let's see. If I press a button, it should. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, let's call him and talk to him.
I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to remember what it is.
We'll see if Pay can find it in the next few moments.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. One, Daddy is about scamming the scammers. I don't know. One of my biggest wins in life was the time that I robbed PayPal for $1,200. PayPal, who in my eyes is just a scammer on a corporate level. They're a corporate scam artist. I got them for $1,200. I don't know that anybody has ever gotten PayPal. I got them because of my persistence in battling scam artists, faulty corporations. I'm a man of the people. I took that $1,200 and went into the projects, put it all in $1 bills, and threw it off the project roof.
Literally made it rain.
Yeah. No, I'm telling it. Now I got customers who are like, okay, can we send you the deposit via PayPal or something like that? No. You could send me the deposit Venmo. You could send me Cash App. But me and PayPal, we don't get along that well. I actually got them for like $15K, honestly. Baxter says $15K. Now, Baxter's $15K, I will tell you right now, was absolutely some sort of a scam on his end.
Right.
He was knee deep in some bullshit that he got him for $15K. Not that I don't respect it, but mine was all on the up and up. I did it. I can't get beat. Nobody's locking me up for my 15 hundo.
Right.
But the fact that Baxter got $15K, come in here. Talk about stealing thunder, would you? All right? We got a seat for you right over here, Baxter. Why don't you start making the commute every Monday night? If you leave at 8 a.m. on Monday morning, you could get here at Monday night. What do you think?
I'm waiting. There we go.
Let's pull him up. And then everybody who's in the chat, follow up with them just to,
See if we can send you that cash.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. So I'm in, and here's my messages, and he is. One sec.
Oh, this is a good time.
Sorry.
No, I'm saying you're good. Obviously, it's going to take you a moment to find it. So if you guys are thinking of getting into the hype beast lifestyle, just know that this is the kind of hurdles that you're going to have to deal with.
You got to keep your head on a swivel.
My search wants to bring up streetwear fashion. I don't know if that's any correlation. If
It's because we're talking about it.
Yeah. We're calling him Prof. We're just trying to get to the name.
It's here. It's just not bringing me up his name. There we go. It's ZOOSI_.
OOSI. Oh, Zeusy.
And it should be like
Buys, sells, followed by Payday Jones.
Yeah, you found it.
Can we call him directly? Okay, we can. I think we can. Should I do it like this or like to the mic?
No, it's
because you know we have problems in the board sometimes.
It's not too bad though, and I can adjust till it cleans up.
All right. Let's see. We'll see if he answers.
It's like a 0% chance, but let's see what happens. Is it ringing?
We should hear it if it is. Yeah, I doubt he probably isn't gonna answer, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, if he answers, I'm up, so it should come through.
It just says call him, but I'm not hearing any noise from it.
I don't know, like if Instagram rings or whatever.
I would assume it does. I don't know if the call is even connected. Still saying calling. Let's see.
Is your internet good?
I got full Wi-Fi bars. It should ring. All right, let's hang it up and try it one more time.
Yeah, give it one more shot.
Let's see if this makes any difference. Business chat. Let's chat business, dog. Yeah, it's not ringing at all. He's probably got on no phone calls.
No phone calls, or you only from people that are friending him or whatever.
Prof says take off your Wi-Fi. I don't know why that would do anything. I'll try it. He probably, even if he answered, we're not going to get too much of a conversation out of him once he figures out we're calling the rail on him for trying to steal a pair of sneaks.
No. I just want to see if he's even got the,
He probably
got the
not.
cojones to answer for a stranger, no less.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be, this guy's got to be on the run from 40 different guys.
I will
To have the scam all figured out, yeah, no answer.
I don't like the man at all, obviously, but I will say, have the fucking audacity to call UPS and pretend to be me with little to no information.
I love it.
That's a solid move. That's a solid move.
The guy
I will
has-
give him credit for that move.
He's ran game on enough people
Yeah.
that he's got the whole science of this down to knows the ship at 3-day air.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. The only thing he did wrong this time was run into me, that I'm at least slightly skeptical of the thing.
Where at in Cali was it getting shipped to? What part?
Riverside. I got the whole address if you want it. We can all send him some email, some
Well,
physical
let's
mail.
give it. Yeah, I mean, just give out the address because this guy's a scammer, so he needs to be, he needs to be put on blast. If anybody wants to send, nothing that's gonna hurt him.
No.
I wouldn't send anthrax to him or anything, but maybe like some pubes.
Is it 3645 Harrison Street
Riverside.
in Riverside 92503?
Yeah, if you want to put a fart in a jar and send it to him, we won't stop you.
They got those places that ship poop.
Yeah,
You can do that.
something like that.
Send them your Cologuard.
So here's what we learned today. We learned how to stay sane.
Right.
We learned that the hype beast culture is a dead end.
It's got pitfalls.
Yeah, it's got its pitfalls. So just go ahead, pass up on the Jordan Union 3s,
Right.
and just get yourself a nice pair of Skechers.
New Balance. New Balance is nice.
Yeah, American-made product.
That's right.
I mean, although there's some hype around. How about this? This is what we learned. Go to Foot Locker.
Yeah, buy them direct.
Get the hell off the internet. Bring it back old school. Get yourself to Foot Locker.
Get a receipt.
Now, I'm a married guy, but a guy who maybe wasn't married would say Foot Locker usually has a hot Latina chick getting your sneakers, so you get some sites to look at.
Right.
Secondarily, you're influencing your community's financial status and well-being.
You're helping them out. You're pitching in.
If you didn't like the video, like the video. If you did not subscribe to the TWD channel, go over to the Thorough White Dude channel and get there. Subscribe to that. Also, keep your eye out because we got Supermoto Adventure in America's Most Dangerous City coming up at some point this week.
Right.
Yao Ming. We will be here next week as we are every week for 3 years now.
Give or take.
It was good to see the boys in the chat.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. It's been a while since we had the whole group.
Baxter, AIDS, Nint, Prof showed up. And of course, Deuces Coco's here.
The man on the street.
He's a good man, actually.
We will be back next Monday. Usually by this time, Payday has played the outro music. I'm just stalling until it gets on. I guess it's not going to happen. There it is.
It's a short intro this week, so I didn't want to.
Finally, something smooth to let you glide out to. This is hang glider music. This is Pilot Wings music. You might as well select your character, hop on your hang glider, and try and fly through a couple gold rings on your way to a mountain that you're supposed to land on. And if you're having trouble, if things are lagging a little bit, pull out the cartridge and blow on it. I am Sean, Pilot Wings Cove. We will see you next Monday here. Prof, Ramadan Mubarak, my brother.